What up, y'all? It's the Morning Hustle with L'Oreal and Kyle Santillian. And once again, we're back at it, man. We have some of the best, most amazing guests in the business and slide through and holler at us. And today, this brother, man, we talk about entrepreneurs. We're talking about family man. We're talking about a jack of all trades and doing it all well.
Absolutely.
Man, we know who he is. Nick Candace in the building, hanging out with us.
Love it. What's good?
Big deal in the building.
Big deal in the building. How you doing, bro?
Oh man, you know, I'm blessed and highly favored. Grateful to see another day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without even saying anything, you answered one of our questions as soon as you walked in the building.
What's that?
One of our digital producers said, "Is he still wearing a turban?"
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like we haven't been seeing the turbans as much lately.
It's personas. It's all like if you watch any of my like podcasts or the stuff I'm doing for the community, or if I'm out in the streets doing activism, it's always a turban on. But if I'm doing the white TV shows, I got a hair. If I'm on Wildin' Out, I'll probably have my braids. It's all it depends.
It's called code switching.
Yeah,
I like the switch up though. No, I like
I'm a shapeshifter.
Okay, so we know and you going on tour. We're wilding out.
Yeah. We excited all the way. You know what I mean? It's 20 years strong. So we said we're gonna celebrate and actually getting like we probably doing almost like 12 to 15 dates in the States, but I was really gearing up because I'm taking everybody to Africa and we doing Wild Out.
So I saw
that's
that. That's crazy. Like, how is that even going to be able to be possible? Because that's a lot of moving parts. Going overseas, one person is a lot.
Taking a whole tour over there, right? I think what it is too. I mean, I went over there. I was in Botswana not too long ago, and I just saw how much people love the brand, and really, my mindset is like, ooh, I want to start Wildin' Out Africa. So I wanted to get like African talent.
I love that.
And I was like, all right, well, to do that right, I should bring over the vibes that we have. So we're going to do the tour first while casting for, the Wildin' Out Africa edition. And then so I think everybody, most of the people on the continent that, in the space of media got really excited about, the potential of doing both. So we figuring it out, and, obviously we're going to have cameras on it the whole time. So we're going to try to make sure that we film the entire, endeavor.
I love how you've always represented just within the culture itself, man. Just talk about the importance of doing it in Africa. There seems to be a lot of people that are starting to make that trek to Africa and visiting the continent. So why was that important for you?
Man, you know what? I can't even front like we were the first to do it. It's almost like the rite of passage when you think about it, because entertainers, from their, all the greats did it first, from James Brown to, Maya Angelou, then of course, the activists like Malcolm X and Stokely Carmichael. I mean, even Stevie Wonder was saying he was going to become a citizen of Ghana, like in the 70s. He was talking that talk. So I think once our eyes are just open to like, there's so much more to the world than just, our blocks and our streets, and then, even all of our areas within the states. It's like I think our, grandparents, because I don't want to say our parents, but probably like our grandparents' generation, they traveled a little bit more. You know what I mean? And they was, when you think about, they used to go to France and the UK, and obviously when you think of all of the men and women of service have already, our grandparents who've been around, like my grandfather, he always used to tell me like, man, I've been around the world 3 times and seen it 4. You know what I mean? Like they traveled a little bit more, and so like the fact that it's beautiful that we're allowing this generation in hip hop to kind of make the whole world a neighborhood is kind of dope.
Yeah, you know what I think is dope? 21 seasons for Wildin' Out.
Oh yeah.
How like there's people that can't last 3 seasons, 1 season even. We've been seeing shows getting canceled after 1, and obviously we know you had a little issue at one point in time, but you got it back together. You got it back together. But one thing I didn't
have the issue. They had the issue.
There was an issue somewhere.
I made the issue your issue though.
You got fake canceled. Matter of fact, you're the first man I know to get canceled and got brought back. But what I do love is that you also have this strong team around you. And one thing that did happen when you got like fake canceled, supposedly DC Young Fly got offered the chance to take over Wildin' Out and turned it down. Was that a true situation?
I think what it was, I think someone asked him a question that said that if you know, because they heard about all that was going down. He was like, if they offered it to you, would you say, you know, would you take it? And he said, absolutely not. And I think that was admirable. I mean, I always say that dude is a special dude, and just to have a squad with you that's gonna hold you down like that and stay solid. I mean, like it's that those type of individuals they're born that way. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, I mean, I wouldn't have not. If anybody got, you know, like I said, I've been on, you know, shows where colleagues of mine, once I left, they did get offered a situation, and it was, you know, very similar situations. And I never knocked anybody who took it, because like, get yours. You know what I mean? So if that situation had ever presented itself, I wouldn't have been mad at nobody. But the fact that, you know, loudly and they were outspoken and like, you know, we're not doing this without Nick. So.
They know it wouldn't have been the same.
Yeah, nah. You know? But that's the other thing too. When you own it, though, they can't do that to you. Like, they could talk about it,
right? Right.
Yeah, they would have been all. They didn't want to see all of them type of lawyers.
Yeah, because I thought about that. I'm like, how can they just take his show that he created?
Yeah, nah, it's a lot of. I mean, but again, like, you know, when you're dealing with different, you know, conglomerates and individuals, like as we were watching, people are always selling and you know, merging and all this stuff. So you gotta, you know, I've been blessed enough to be able to still operate, you know, because there's a lot of people who don't have the say so in their brands and the things that they create, and they just gotta go with the flow. So
it seems like you've been an owner of your brand for a long time. Like what was it that allowed you to be an owner?
When you be ringing that bell.
Yeah. Gotta show you that, man.
For sure. What is it that has allowed you to be in that space of an owner so early in your career, when we see people all the time that don't have control, don't have a say so, they get played out, and then you've kind of mastered that space?
Man, Kyle, I honestly stumbled upon it. It actually happened when I was super young. I started obviously, you know, in the stand-up game, and in that process, you got to do it all. Just to get on, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I remember being out here in the Uptown, or, you know, LA at the Improv and all of those spots, and you got to literally sell tickets to get on the stage. Like, or you got to bring so many people, you know what I mean? Like, and so that mentality was always in me. So I actually, to be honest, I never even wanted to be in front of the camera. I was always impressed with, like, I was a writer, and just really wanted to be a producer.
Wow.
So early on, 16, 17, I'm putting together shows and bringing other comics on, and then the concept of Wildin' Out actually was pretty much that. I was popping a little bit, you know, in the space, and MTV came to me and was like, yo, you want to do a show like Punk'd? Or I was like, nah, not really. I was like, I would love to do something where I had the opportunity to put my friends on. And I was like, yo, I want to do a mixture of like hip hop and comedy, and they didn't really get it. So I was like, all right, well, cool. I'll just put up my own money and shoot it myself. So I rented out, you know, one of the clubs in LA, and got some cameras, got my friends together, people that, you know, most people had never heard of, like, you know, this guy named Kevin Hart.
I know that's right.
Yeah,
I know that's right.
Other dude named Cat in the Hat, who ultimately became Cat Williams. Just like all of those guys, Chris Spencer, and like, you know, he's always been like the OG, and like we just, you know, really got a boy. It's funny, even on the pilot that night, I think I even had Loon was the rapper.
Wow.
And like we had, it was crazy. Like, and from that point, you know, I had a tape that I took to MTV, and was like, this is what I was talking about. And so when I showed it to them, they're like, oh, we get it now, we love it. And I was like, yeah, but I own it.
Right, but I own it, right? It's mine.
So they couldn't see the vision. You had to make them see
it. If they would have got it based off of when I did or just pitched it to them, I probably wouldn't own it. You know what I mean? Because, you know what I mean?
That forced you to get out there and
because I just went and shot it myself to kind of have like a proof of concept and show you, like, look, this is what I'm talking about.
Right.
And so luckily, you know, my team was like, yo, no, because I spent real bread doing it. So, and they admired that, and they were like, yo, they held true to it. You know, shouts out to everybody in the Viacom days that really just was like, nah, we rock with you.
That's dope.
You know, for years they've allowed me to just kind of maneuver, and And like you said, 21 seasons, going to 22.
Putting on 2,100 people at least. You know, definitely walked a lot of people into this industry and helped them get a little bigger, way bigger. And now you have the council culture, which that's everywhere as well. Now, you know what I got to ask you about the Dr. Cheyenne episode.
Love her.
Now, did you? I was going to say that. So when it came out, because the internet chewed you up.
They tried to get at you, dog.
Did you regret putting that out?
First of all, we got more sessions coming. You know what's unfortunate but fortunate at the same time? If that was your first time, like, into the world of council culture, I kind of get it, but what people don't understand, at least for me, these are like real life therapy sessions. So I'm being open and as vulnerable as possible, like just trying to keep it a stack. And like it's gotten deeper. I suggest people watch even more of me and Dr. Cheyenne Bryant stuff, or in other doctors. I'm like through council culture, I've been diagnosed for like, you know, brain damage that I didn't know that I had from, you know, Dr. Amen. I've been like, it's just, and it's really all, it's healing through the process. So all the stuff Dr. Bryant and I talked about ain't new, you know what I mean? Like, if anybody's ever in therapy, and I suggest, you know, as many people do it as possible, because, you know, our community needs it.
Yeah.
But you have to be vulnerable. You have to hold yourself accountable. So I never had, you know, and Cheyenne is funny because like just her delivery is so
direct,
which I love.
Yeah.
But because a lot of times, because even in a lot of our sessions, people are like, oh, all of these doctors, they just pacifying Nick, or they being too easy. So even with Dr. Brian, I was like, yo, go crazy, go in. Like the people want to, you know, want to see it.
But were you a little uncomfortable? Because you seemed a little uncomfortable at a certain
point.
Me?
Nah, you talking about Cam's interview. I was good.
I mean, I feel like because y'all came out at the same time.
No, but that's what I was saying. Like, because we've had like 4 or 5 sessions together. And if you see,
I watched a few of them.
Yeah, like, and I'm not, it's therapy for me. So like sometimes I'll be like, I'll start off like, maybe I'm like,
or I'll say defensive. I'll say defensive, not uncomfortable. Do you feel like you were a little defensive?
Maybe because it's therapy, so I'm not really these are just stream of consciousness. Like if you say something, like I'm like, my lifestyle is nothing new. So I you know, where I'm wrong, I accept the wrong. Like I, you know, everything from I have no problem being diagnosed with narcissistic tendencies, or you know, all because I'm working through it. This is a process of healing. Like I said, we feel together, we reveal together, so we can heal together. So I want people to see the process, because that's what's unfortunate. I believe I'm probably one of the few people in this world that can say it's all cards up. I ain't got nothing to hide. I take my L's where I take my L's. I know I'm not perfect. I know I've done. I got some toxicity in me that I'm trying to work through. I got a lot of stuff, and I'm never. But a lot of people, when these cameras turn on and these mics, you know, are hot, then they want to put on this like persona. Yeah. I was like, nah, you call me on my shit, I'm gonna let you know.
But I think that's why we love you. I think, you know, I think that's why you're as big as you are, because you put it all out there. You're real, and we see it. Like you said, your wins or your losses, you're still gonna, like, please don't put out no more Eminem diss tracks.
Hold on. My Eminem, if you put them in the
Come on now, Nick.
I had Suge on the intro of my joint. It was shook for real.
You do a lot of things good. You do a lot of great things, but they never said rapping was one of them.
See, and
I'll give you that. Rapper, just when you're coming out Eminem,
you're going out there, one of the best ever do it.
You gotta be a little.
But that was purposeful too, and that's the other thing too that people always forget. He picked on me first.
That's true.
Did he?
That's true.
Is that officially true?
Think of first of all, he talked about my wife and called my wife. I was gonna whoop his ass. Like, hey, fuck all this rapping shit. Like, I went to Detroit looking for him. That was in 2008. We got over all of that, and I thought it was done. Yeah. And then he dropped another record.
And you like, what the hell?
Like, this is 20 years later. Damn. Like, you still. I was like, and at the time we was in the middle of Wild, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is great promotion.
Great promotion.
So we went crazy.
Right. Don't pass up the opportunity to promote that thing.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about something that you said that I've been feeling recently, right? Us here doing the show, The Morning Hustle, has me spending the majority of my time away from my family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And especially my son in particular, because he is he's just starting high school. He's 14 years old.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you, man. Yeah. So I'm kind of like back and forth. And you said something about feeling guilty about not having enough enough time to spend with your children. You have 12 kids. You're a busy man. You know what I mean? How are you working through that? You were talking about working through your therapy sessions.
I love it in the sense of, because now another thing going to be as revealing as possible. I'm about to show the world how I do it, because people always ask, and people have their opinions. I mean, but at the end of the day, the only opinions that matter in this space are my children.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, like, I've been like torn if I should really allow, and it's definitely, I ain't doing a reality show or nothing like that, but I'm really like, just our process, I'm allowing people to see, you know, me as a father, because I feel like that is truly one of my purposes in life, is because the nuclear family, or the traditional family of which we know it, a lot of us don't know that. You know what I mean? I didn't grow up in a 2-parent household, but I love my upbringing. I mean, shouts out to my grandparents, shouts out to my parents were teenagers. So it's like, I had a different experience, and obviously my kids are gonna have a unique experience as well. So, like literally yesterday, I mean, before, on the last thing I did before I jumped on the plane, I threw my 2-year-old daughter a birthday party. Shouts out to Onyx Ice Cold Candy. You know what I mean? And literally, when I get back on the plane, you know, we got
another birthday party.
Real facts. But we got basketball this weekend, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's we jumping, like I'm in between, and you know, usually I'm at the office probably from like 6 a.m. or I'm doing my morning show. So it's right like 6 to like 3. And at 3 I leave, and it's kids all the way, it's picking them up from school all the way to bedtime around, you know, 8 or 9, and then I'm back at it after that. So like, crazy. But the fact that I'm blessed that I could do that with my days. You know what I mean? I could say, all right, y'all, I'm out.
Because you're an owner.
Yeah.
I know that's right. It's my show.
Right, you know, and to be able to pick my kids up from school, or hang out at games, or take them to, you know, sensory classes and all of that type of stuff is super important to me. And I know, like, I'm in a privileged position that, you know, even with the amount of children that I have, everybody doesn't get to do that with their kids. So, like, you know, for me at least, I at least want the world to see it in real time, to be like, look, this is how my day rock.
How hard is it to even get them all together? Because I did just see a picture of Bro and Halo together on your page.
Yeah, my oldest and my youngest.
Yeah. So how hard is that to like get them all? Have you ever had them all just together? That's a big room.
I mean, that's a lot, but it happens on obviously special occasions. But I mean, you know, everybody's kind of in the same area, so it's not that difficult to me, more than about getting them all together, because I know why the world may think that's important, but it's more about making sure all of them get the most of me at possible. So being able to, like, my goal is like, I try to make sure I see everybody every day on my own, because when they're all together, the main person who's benefiting from that is me. But as we all know, as individuals, everybody wants their own specific relationship with their parent. So I try to me, it just as important as I want to see everybody together, is like, what I got to do is I got to make sure everybody gets that quality time, that one-on-one time with their dad, because that, to me, I feel like, you know, through therapy and stuff, I know psychologically nobody wants to just be grouped in.
Right. You know what I mean?
They want to have their own bond.
I want daddy to come to my game. I want daddy to help me with my homework. If it's just dad and, you know, everybody else, even especially because it's me, like, I'm tending to the attention is even on me a lot of times, and kids recognize that type of stuff. So I'll try to turn everything off and really, you know, hone in on who needs that one-on-one time, and be there as a father, like that. You know, that to me, I'm learning is more important, because everybody's like, oh, you got to get all them kids together. Like, I was seeing the other day, like, Monique, shouts out to Monique, we love her. She's like, I want you to get all them kids in one house. And I was like, why? Like, I don't understand why I get why, but it's like, the idea is like, no, everybody wants their individual relationship, and so that's what I'm really.
But how do they get along with each other, though?
Oh yeah, they're kids. I mean, at this point, everybody loves everybody.
Good.
But I mean, they're siblings too, so, you know, everybody loves being around their brother or sister.
Yeah. So I have a question, roughly, right? So you have like Tyrese, who has the 10K.
Why do people just laugh when you say Tyrese?
I didn't even say anything yet.
I love that dude.
So Tyrese has the 10K a month child support, right? Then you have Kanye.
Lucky.
He's not paying it. he only paid $2,200 a month because he said that's too much. Okay, then you have Kanye. His is $200,000. Yeah. So roughly, how much does 12 kids run you a month?
It's funny because I talked to each and every one of them about that. I mean, funny enough, me and Kanye were at our kids' basketball game. He's like, "You got off easy." I was like, "No, you got off easy." Right. I was like, but again, this is, and I said this to Tyrese, and I'll say this to anybody, man. When we're in these situations where we are literally blessed enough to provide for our families, like everybody, I'm not caught up in the governmental child support system because all my money goes to my kids. Like, this is what I do it for. I don't care about none of this but making sure they're set up, and the legacy is where it needs to be. So whatever my kids want or desire, I'm in a blessed position to be able to provide that for them. And I think, shouts out to all the mothers of my children. They have that same understanding as well. Like, I'm gonna take care of all y'all. We all gonna be all right. Yeah. So, and long as the lights is still on, the check's still coming in, this y'all money. I've bought everything I could ever desire in life. Anything I don't view money like that. Mm-hmm. The true currency is energy, and wealth is health in the way I see the world. So long as I can set it up, it's my money. Like I don't even think about it to that point.
So basically a hell of a lot of money.
But again, I also know I'm looking at life from a different standpoint. I understand, like, there's some times where you might have to have, the state involved in your business just to kind of, we want to make sure all of these families are taken care of, and sometimes you got to hold people accountable, and they taking bread out your check and all of that. My life ain't set up like that. So it's like whatever they need is theirs. My bank account is their bank account, and right now it's a lot in there. So
I know that's right.
So look, we know.
Thank the Lord.
So we know the kids are taken care of, and you take care of your family as a whole, man. We know you're that type of guy. But I gotta ask this question because this is where the fellas' minds go. The fellas' minds go here. Nick has 12 kids and he has all these baby moms. The average dude is like, man, I bet Nick just spend the night over here one night, go see the other baby.
That's what I think too.
The fellas feel like, yo, Nick is that dude. Like, I'm trying to have that Nick Cannon lifestyle. So what is the relationship between you and your baby mothers like? Like, do you have that type of relationship where you can pick where you want to spend the night?
Yeah, not generalizing, because I don't think you can, because I've learned I made that mistake before. And like, oh, we all good.
They were like, I don't like her.
So, I mean, it's individual relationships. I mean, you're going to have your challenge in any relationship, but, thankfully, every mother of my child kind of thinks the same way that I do when it comes to the idea that we got to put the children first. And once we do that, our personal relationship is, like I said, it's different in every scenario. And I don't knock it, because I know that they made a great sacrifice by giving me children, not only just because of what a woman does as a mother, but then to be amplified and magnified in the public eye with my world. Like, I know that comes with a lot. So I kind of enter the space with grace and empathy, just to be like, look, I just appreciate whatever setup you want, I'm a rock with, because I appreciate you being you. So
I gotta translate that. That means if they down, I'm down. If not, they whatever.
When they call me and they drunk down, then it's going down, and if they don't, then it ain't.
And I want to defend you on one thing too, because I know there's a lot of people that feel like, man, Nick is reckless.
Be careful there, because your wife don't play that.
But I want to defend you on this particular thing, because I feel like there's a lot of people that say, Nick can be reckless having different baby mothers. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure they know that you're a multi-million-dollar man, and it's probably someone right now that says, Nick, can I be next?
Someone.
When you go to, it's funny, you go to these wilding out tours, every night I see a different sign that say, can I be your next baby mama?
I know it.
Like, but I mean, and obviously that's probably all in jest and jokes, but
no, it ain't.
I mean, I think I've never had an issue in this space. So if anything, my trouble is like, yo, I want to, because I'm a hopeless romantic, and I love the idea of being a lover and a pleaser. And like, as I'm growing older, I'm like, all right, I I gotta shift that mentality, but like being a player and a lover
it gets
boy.
Old, don't it?
At the end of the day, luckily I have my children because that grounded me and rooted me a little bit more because I probably would still be trying to knock down something different in every city and all. Like I just don't have that in me anymore. But you know, for while we had it, it was fun. But that's just not, you know, I'm not really, again, I don't have time to meet anybody new. I don't have time to, you know, focus on a brand new scenario. So I don't even think of it like that anymore. But I mean, it seems like it could be fun, but it ain't. It's
well, is anybody pregnant now? Because I feel like with you, we gotta ask.
That is a good question.
Thank you. I know.
Nah, nobody.
Any two people pregnant right now? Right? Like, that's also a question.
Same time. Nah, nobody's pregnant at the moment.
By you, I mean.
By me. By me.
We got to be very
specific. That I know of.
They did try to troll you on social media and say that Kamala's new tax credit program for children is for you.
Yeah, I'm going to be all right. I appreciate you.
You about to clean up nice.
Yeah, right? Well, we appreciate you, bro, man. You've been doing so much for so long, man, and it's definitely noticed and appreciated from the community.
No doubt.
And we know you're promoting the tour, man. So just what cities you got coming up next, man?
Man, we got so many cities coming up. Obviously, Atlanta on the 19th. We super excited about that at State Farm Arena. And then, I mean, we all over the place.
Wait, don't just get past Atlanta, because I heard that you're doing something very special for Rich Homie Quan's family. Is that true?
Well, you know what it is with that, and because that's, to me, like, I don't really like to publicize that because that's something near and dear, and even more so, like, I want to respect the family. But a lot of people do know when we were originally promoting the date, Rich Homie was on the show. Yeah. So even like one of the last drops that he did, or one of the things that he posted on social media was that he was going to be there.
Right.
And so, you know, we kind of seen it like, yeah, he's always been family. He's been on the show. He's been on a tour with us so many times. But, you know, even every night we go up for him and kind of, so, but obviously hometown, we want to make sure that, you know, the whole arena is sending a love. So so like I never, you know, I didn't want to like publicize it like that because one, it's just what you would do for a loved one, you know, and my heart goes out to his family, and we consider them family, so we're gonna celebrate them each and every night on the show. And you know, because it's literally like an episode of Wildin' Out. So you seeing people perform, you seeing us, you know, the DJ turning up, and we playing the games.
It's
and
a good time. I got to go to the Barclay. Shout out my guy Wyfan Lucci. He hooked me up to go to that, and it was a good. That y'all get busy on that stage, and it is fun.
It's fun. Like,
I'm not gonna lie, I was shocked, and I'm not saying because I didn't think you could deliver it, but I was like, how can this translate to a big arena? And it really does. Yeah,
because we incorporate the entire audience, and like we bring people on stage, and it's just like if you like going to comedy shows, then you're gonna love it. If you like going to concerts, you're gonna love it because it's literally both. And if you're a fan of Wildin' Out, you really need to come out because it's like we're doing all of that in one setting, and it's definitely worth the price of admission. I
would agree.
Yeah, like, you know, sometimes you go to these shows because everybody on tour now. You go to shows and people be like, it's a little lackluster. Like, you go to Wildin' Out, you get your money.
You gonna have a good time. Lil' Kim gonna be out there. I seen you hanging out with her lately.
She was in our she was at the Vegas show, which we sold out the MGM Arena. So her and Chance the Rapper came out on that one. And then she probably gonna be when we go back to Barclays in Brooklyn. I'm pretty sure because it's Lil' Kim in Brooklyn. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And you gotta have Lil' Kim.
Yeah, like every city we bring out, you know, we had Plies when we was in Florida, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like everybody who's ever from the region or whatever. And that's even why, you know, that's the beautiful thing about, you know, Rich Homie. Like, we could take him all over the world and and it would always rock. He was one of them people, his music resonated in every area, and especially in Atlanta.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know we got away from the baby mama talk, but I do got one more question about the baby mama talk. Okay, so are they allowed to date other men?
First of all, they are allowed to do whatever they want to do. I call no shots.
Well, you paying bills? Because I know that's a little different when you paying bills. Like, because then can the man come over there?
See that? Yeah, that's such a. And where's Dr. Cheyenne Bryant when you're here? Trying to be as high functioning as possible.
Like I'm saying, like
I've been working through this through therapy. No, my initial thought used to be like, man, exactly what you said, but I've evolved. Because you're paying bills. And I said, like, I'm a little bit more empathetic to the situation, and I look at it from a different perspective. That if this situation or the scenario in which we initially discussed, you're no longer happy with, you're free to do whatever you want to do.
Wow. Yeah. But what about when it comes to bringing your kids around these men?
I actually don't. I mean, first of all, I learned early on with that. I mean, my oldest, the twins are 13. And, we've seen Mariah be in relationships, since.
She's only dated one man.
I mean, I know. I'll take that. No, but I probably learned with her, which is probably the best person to learn with, because we are so cool with each other and so understanding, have a great open communication. So initially when I used to think about, like, I don't want my kids around, like
that's what I would be on.
Yeah, that's what but we learned, and it really, like, I never felt like I lost my place. I never felt intimidated. My ego was never challenged. It was just, it was super cool. So then I took learning from, Mariah and I's, situation and applied it to everywhere else. Like, and it's just as I said, like, I'm not with all the mothers of my children, and I'm sure they have, other relationships if they don't have relationships with me. And I'm not intimidated by it. I'm not bothered by it. To the fact, though, as long as someone is honoring and respecting my child, I haven't gotten to that space yet. I haven't got where one of my kids come to me and say, "Daddy, such and such did this." Right. Say, that ain't happened yet. And I believe that, the women in my life or the mothers of my children do choose to go in a different direction. I hope that they put our children first.
I don't like it, man. What do we got to do to call Mariah and say, take Nick back? All right, you've openly said that she don't want you, but you're a good dude, man.
Nah. I think
we want us to put the call in for you.
I think the way that it is, honestly, because when you look back, we all grow. Like, we've grown to such a great place to where we can still coexist, we can still rock, and I really like the setup that it is right now.
Okay.
To where, who knows what the future holds, but I really like where we are as a family, and because it's funny too, because I talk about that quite a bit, like, wanting Mariah back, and right. There's always the jokes and stuff, but then when I gotta go pick up one of my other kids, like, oh, you want Mariah back, huh?
What about my mom?
Exactly.
But it's still Mariah.
I was like, you understand.
You understand.
No, but that's an interesting little juggle there that I gotta understand. But like I said, I at one point, every child I made was made out of love. So I love and honor all the mothers.
I'm over here laughing because I remember a rumor back in the day that they were like, y'all broke up because you always would call her Mariah Carey.
Her whole name.
That's funny.
Like, she got annoyed because. Did you ever hear that?
Funny. I did hear that. That's hilarious.
How did you feel about that though? Like,
it's hilarious.
It's funny.
Because if you get it, she is Mariah Carey. Right? And it's like I refer to her in interviews like, I'm married to Mariah Carey. Like, it's not like I'm married to my wife. So I can see how people can make that up.
Be honest.
Like, Mariah Carey, come here.
Mariah Carey.
What's
bringing my cousin. Bringing my cousins over. Hey, this is Mariah Carey.
I'm sorry, but
that is funny.
It always made me laugh. Like, I hope he ain't do that, man. Come on.
I think we was a little closer to that, but
that's funny. That's definitely funny. Has anybody ever said anything that I know that you've been a butt of a lot of jokes, and it's just the nature of the business. Yeah. Has anybody ever said anything that you just couldn't let roll off your shoulders?
You gotta think, man.
Cut a little bit?
I came up in my self-deprecating humor really is what we do. It's what Wildin' Out is built on. It's built, I think you gotta be a very confident individual to kind of be able to be in this space anyway. But to be a stand-up, especially around the stand-ups that I came up, I came up around everybody, Marlon Wayans and Dave Chappelle, and these are the guys that I grew up around. You know what I mean? So I've been getting called all kind of names before. before y'all even knew who I was. So by the time we got to wilding out, I was like, there ain't nothing you can say to offend me, especially because that's how we know. In a family, you could talk shit about your cousin, your brother, but can't nobody else outside talk shit.
Yeah,
but like y'all call each other all kind of names, and that's kind of how we are on Wildin' Out. Like you see people from all different walks of life, but it's all one family and one unit with the same mission. So I tell, and as you know, the leader of the bunch, I'm like, yo, go the hardest on me. You know what I mean? Like, and then that just sets the tone. You're like, yo, if Nick can take that, it don't matter if you call this one short, fat, ugly, or whatever. It's like, and because at the end of the day, we all rock out and we all getting a check.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Man, this is an incredible man right here, just in case y'all didn't know.
I see what you did.
I see what you did there. I like that. I appreciate that.
We appreciate you, bro. Thank you for coming to spend some time with us. We want to encourage everybody to check out Wildin' Out Live.
Wildin' Out Season 21.
That's right.
Accused Season 2.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait for y'all to see that. That's going to jump off crazy. I'm getting back in my dramatic bag.
Okay.
So.
That's so great. Like, I don't even know. I feel lazy talking to you. I feel lazy talking to you.
Fuck, I still got to go do my morning radio show.
Morning show, council culture. You're doing big things, and we love
playing
you for that.
spades. Make sure y'all
rock it. You stole that from Walker.
I didn't steal it. We won, and they had to give up the show. Shouts out to Walker and Desi.
I didn't know that. Is that really how?
Nah, man. We gonna bet my show versus your show.
Oh man,
That's
no
hilarious.
doubt. Keep doing it, bro. Thank you, man. Keep representing, man.
No doubt, no doubt.
All right, Nick Cannon, The Morning Hustle. We appreciate you.
Legend.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's
so
dope.
much. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh no.
We are The Morning Hustle.